I digitized this feather with multi-hooping in mind because if I had had a spine in this feather that went clear up here, it would have been too big for any of my hoops. So each of the little plumes on the feather is digitized as a separate object, so it will fit in any size hoop that I have. So let's go into the multi-hooping view, and it automatically has the one hoop that I've selected. Remember, you can only use one size hoop, so you need to figure out what's going to be the best. I wanted as few hoopings as possible, but I personally don't care to rehoop in the mega hoop, and that's just a personal preference. If you do, that's great. So I'm using the oval hoop, and I know that my design starts down here. So I'm going to put my first hoop, and I know that I digitize it to go this way. It really doesn't make any difference, but now as I add hoops, you will notice that the outline or the stitch field is a different color for each hoop I add. The first hoop is dark green, so if I add another one, I added it in the center. The next one's blue. And you do want overlap when you're doing multi-hooping. I still have one in here that's not covered, so I've got to move somebody around till it is. Okay, that's covered. Now I can add another hoop. I could do it to the right. So I actually want it on the left, but all I have to do is grab it and drag it. Okay, I have that whole bottom part has turned green now, so everything's covered. And notice my third hoop was red. I can select this one and add one on top. And we have some that aren't covered there. Everything's covered coming out of here. And that one was brown as far as the color. It's not that big a deal really, because the files, when it saves them, are going to be numbered in the order that you're going to want to stitch them out. Let's add another one right. That one was orange, so that is my fifth hooping. And if you want to know the order of these, you can check in the on-screen manual on page 46 of the manual. Okay. Going to select this one, add another one on top, and this one should be purple. Okay. And we'll just add another one, and that one was teal. And then we'll add another one on top of that. And this one is aqua. And there are only 8 colors of hoops. So once you've used up the 8, if you have more hoopings than that, it starts back over at the beginning. So my next one should be dark green again. Yep, it is. Okay, if I show all, I am not seeing any black lines that show that anything is not covered. We can calculate hoopings. 15 hoopings again. I think I got it to 13 or 14 when I actually stitched this out, but at some point it's not worth playing with it anymore. Okay, so I go back into design view, and my hoops don't show anymore. I can click on show hoop and then they'll be there. And if I now say file, save as, Software Club, I already have this in here, but save. Then I get this multiple hoopings warning. Your design uses more than one hooping. Would you like to export split files? If you say yes, export one for every hooping, show me first, or no, export everything in one file. If you were just saving this file and wanting to come back and work on it again later, you'd do the no. But if you're ready to go stitch now, you say yes, and it's going to think for a little bit. And if you notice up here, it's adding numbers onto the file name. And that's each of the hoopings. Okay, so then this is the screen that you're going to get. And you can go through and see exactly what's going to stitch out in each hooping. So right now we're seeing what's in the first hooping. And even though our next hoop that we put down was blue, that's not the next one it's having a stitch out. It's having us do that one. So this is the order you're going to stitch them out. And notice it went back and did the purple hoop again. We already had the purple hoop once, but it had to stitch something over here before it could stitch this, because this was overlapping something that was in that hoop. And notice we have to stitch the red hoop twice. And in fact, here's another purple hoop down here. So we have to hoop in that spot 3 times. So that's what stitches out in each hooping. And you might be able to go back in and play with that and get it to come out better. The best I got, I still had some that stitched 1 or 2 plumes. So if I'm okay with that, then I can say save all. And it will take a little bit to do that because it's saving 15 files now. And when I'm done, I can click close. Okay, let's go look at one of those files. Let's look at this one. Open. I want you to notice that there are now reference marks in here, and this is what you will use when you go to stitch out the design. The software automatically digitizes those in. So if we look at the first file, you would go ahead and place that where you wanted it to start on your garment or on your fabric, and it would, let's see how it would stitch. View, slow redraw, play. We can play faster than that. It's going to stitch the whole design first in that file, and then it comes back and puts in the reference points. Now every file after this is going to have reference points before the design stitches out and again after. Let's look at number 2. And if we do slow redraw on this one, oops, it did the green ones first, but you notice it has 3 color changes now. It stitches the green ones out first, and that would be the ones that you're lining up with the last one that you just stitched out. And I have pictures of that, and I will put them in to show you. The one drawback with this is the software does not number these reference points, so when you have as many hoopings as this design takes, you're going to need to lay the design out and line them up and give yourself some sort of reference system. I used letters, I believe, when I stitched mine out, or numbers would work, so that you know which X's you're lining up to. And there it did the reference marks at the end.